Hello.
Hello, just make sure you're in.
Yeah. Good sneaky eye look.
Sneaky eye look.
I've noticed a lot of things when I'm talking, I use different words or labels interchangeably. Like when I refer to like eating disorder or binge eating or my routines or OCD or um, like addiction and stuff like that. And it's like they all sort of overlap. People try and separate them and go, oh no, we're here to talk about your eating, so we don't talk about that. But yet, the issue I have with exercise and my walking addiction and my exercise addiction is to do with OCDs, but it's also to do with my eating. So you can't sort of like separate. And I think they all sort of overlap with I seem to get very addicted to things very easily and get things in my head. And with some things, they become the be all and end all of everything. I've noticed recently different things. And then I can just drop them and they never bother me again. But there's certain things which I hold on to. I'm primarily thinking about my Pepsi Max addiction, OCD, routine, eat whatever you want to call it. But I've got a bond and a link that I need it. And I need it at certain times, and I need it for certain, and I get panicky when I haven't got any with me, and things like that. And it's like it filters all everywhere, but I just wanted to open it up, really think about it.
Yeah, it is. Well, really, you're right. It is all an addiction. And so when we get labelled off, we get separated from ourselves. Well, we're already separated from ourselves anyway. And as I always say, that Freud and everybody explained that we're insane, and the insane think they're normal. So we've normalised our insanity.
Yeah.
We've normalised our insane behaviour. We're seeing it a little bit now. There's a few people now that's seen it, but whether we're willing to change. So, we colluders in our own demise, or as I'd said previously, because it was written well. So I'm not a religious person, but some of the wording, seems quite correct, especially with the 7 deadly sins that I spoke about before, and one of them is gluttony. And so, what's the end of the deadly sin? Well, it's quite deadly when you think about what we're doing to ourselves. I mean, our diet is chemicals, and the food's always been messed about with. So our ego is so arrogant within itself. We think we can do better than nature could do. So we start to change and modify things. And right now, as the subject of modifying grapes and seedless grapes, now that's just for our ego to feel comfortable. But ultimately, like I say, when somebody introduces something new, you have to look at the shadow, what's going on in the shadows, who's going to benefit. It's definitely not us, because there's a God that we worship more than any other God. Not everybody does, but majority of people, in the West do, which is the money God. Yeah, so when you worship the money God, and in our egos, we all want to be seen. So it wants to be seen. So quite often, when we're stressing about being seen, stressing about being noticed, stressing about having the latest clothes, stressing about, making sure they don't get better than me. We're all stressing. So that's what all the other ones are, like the jealousy and things like that. So where addiction comes in is that in the world of insanity is that the worshipping money needs you addicted, because without you being addicted, you might not eat so much. You might not want so much Pepsi Max. So, and these things where you say, I need them, they're your comfort, because they create anxiety. So it's like when people smoke a cigarette, they're trying to calm down their anxiety, but actually they're feeding the very thing they're trying to calm down. Because say like there's a monster in the cupboard, and the monster keeps growling, and you keep getting nervous and you're scaring it makes really loud noises, and you're like, oh, how can I keep it quiet? Feed it that. Okay, I'll feed it that. So you just throw it some food in its favourite food, and you throw it some, and then the monster's okay. Then you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it starts growling again. So you never get rid of the monster. Another way to say it is, as they believe in Buddhism, is that we live like dogs. We're dogs, and we're lazy dogs. Not in a nasty sense, but in when you see the reason why, is because we we prefer the external world rather than doing the work on the internal world. So what that means is that rather than working on ourselves, when people come to therapy, they're autonomous. So quite often, because we're expected a quick fix from somebody else to take care of us, when people come to therapy, they expect a quick fix and for you to take care of me. Well, no, that your healing is inside of you. So when you come in therapy, it's to help, but it's not to do it for you. So that's your autonomy. You have a choice. But quite often you can be met with laziness and in Buddhist language. And what that means is that I'd rather work at trying to change the world than change me. If only they stop doing that.
Yeah.
And if they stop doing that, I'll be okay. And do you know what they did the other day? And all the criticism, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it becomes like that. So then what do we do instead then when we have all these stresses? So then we become like the dog. So what does a dog do? When you throw a stone, the dog's always running behind the stone. It's always chasing the stone or the ball, whatever it is you want to throw for the dog. It will always chase it. Yeah, and it likes to play that game. Our game isn't as nice as that. So we become, we're ever chasing something, like chasing your addiction, to calm down the person or the thing inside where you become the dog. So I keep chasing the stone. Once I get the stone, I feel all right for a bit, but then I need to chase the stone again. I need to chase the stone again. So how do you keep chasing the stone? Well, I'll eat that, and then I'll go walk, and then I'll weigh myself, and then I'll do that, and I'll keep doing that. So I'll keep asking the thrower to throw the stone. In Buddhism, they say you should become like a lion. A lion doesn't watch the stone. A lion looks at the one who's throwing the stone and eats it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So that's the work we don't want to do. We will give ourselves our body burnout before we'll literally look inside to say there's a problem. So it's like it's like when the TV don't work, we hit it to try and make it work rather than let's have a look inside the TV, see what's the problem. People don't want to look inside of themselves because they're being taught not to. Like you said, when I go to the doctors, I get sectioned off. You know, like they did to make money. And as the dividing came from John Rockefeller, so let's divide you up into 42 parts. I don't know if it's the same now, but 42 parts. And you can go over there for that, and over there for that, and over there for that. And you can get a tablet for that will cause a side effect, and you can get another tablet for your side effect that will cause another side effect. So you can get another tablet for that. So it's just about business. You always have to see who's benefiting this temple that I've got here, and how much of the sin am I putting on it. So that's why you have these addictions, because the food is made addictive, and so is the drink. So you feel that this amount of sugar is actually, well, I need it to calm me down. It's like, no. So when people say, oh, they're alcoholics or they're on drugs, it's like, so are you.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? But we just don't, in our insanity, we don't see it as an addiction. But it is, because if I speak about food to some people in therapy, because food impacts your mood and it impacts your nervous system, I didn't come for that.
Yeah.
But that's where we separate ourselves off. I came to you for this.
Yeah.
I didn't come for this. Well, this body is very honest. It will always tell you the truth. This often lies. So as you experience gaslighting, where you go to doctors, it done that bad, or it done that. Well, this is tell the truth, and that inside of your head is lying.
Or if a certain test says, like they've said to me, well, there's no wrong with you. It's like, well, I've got this, but that test
Yeah,
doesn't show it. It says you're
that
okay.
that's it. So if you think about that, and as I was growing up, we've been told to ignore this precious body. We've been told to ignore it. We can just dump on it. We can call it names. We can dislike it. We can do all those things. But this, they'll keep telling us to still eat the chemicals.
Mm.
We will all look. I've put weight on. It's like, but you're still going to eat the chemicals. Why?
Mm.
Because you've got an addiction.
Mm.
So there are many people with addictions that just don't realise they've
Mm.
got them, because that's why people often get offended when I say, they'll come. Some people will come for addictions. I want to give up my addiction. How can I give up my addiction? But many people that are eating won't come to want to give up their addiction, and so they'll find that quite difficult, because it's like I didn't come to you for that.
Yeah. Or I came for this addiction and not this addiction, and
Yeah.
pick and choose. I know I were like that when I first started therapy. I want to come for this, but just leave all that. I'm
Yeah,
quite
because
happy with that.
I like that.
I
Do you
can
see what I
cope with
mean?
that,
Yeah.
but I can't cope. I don't like this bit,
That's
and that
it.
kind of thing.
And
I
it
thought
doesn't
that.
matter that people, it seems that people will eat anything, absolutely anything, as long as it's got sugar and salt on.
And it's that our arrogance of like the thinking of, well, it's not going to happen to me. Like if I, something which has been identified as carcinogenic or can cause different things. Is it that thinking, well, it won't happen to me, or is it that deeper thing that you actually are chemically addicted to the stuff, or is it a combination of both?
Well,
Or
it's the same reason why they started to put faces on packets of cigarettes, so you could see the inside damage. So our ego doesn't care to kill you. That's why people commit suicide, because the chattering voice in their head's telling them to.
Yeah.
The chattering voice in their head's telling you you're not good enough.
Yeah.
The chattering voice in their head is the one that's saying, oh, you need to get on social media. The chattering voice in your head saying the one that you're missing out. The chattering voice in your head is the one that makes you want all the time,
because
because
mine is like, well, it doesn't matter if it does. If it hurts you, it hurts you. If it doesn't hurt you, if it kills you, whatever.
Because
that's what mine says.
Well, it's having a look as well. What I notice quite often, if you're wearing something different, people's eyes just draw to it. They're not interested in you as a human. They're interested in the objects you've got on around you. Do you see what I mean? So they'll just draw to your objects all the time. Like if somebody's got, say, Nike trainers on or whatever, they'll draw to the object. Or if they've got new Nike trainers, look at me. It's all about look at me all the time. And so we're getting so desperate now to be looked at that it looks like, I think somebody had said, women have now become the perverts because they're showing that much of themselves. And so it's that look at me, look at me, look at me, that constant attention that the ego is telling you to get. So that's where somebody, you become the dog that's thrown a stone and now you want attention. Or you feel threatened by somebody. So the way that the ego feels threatened by somebody is if, say, like somebody got more than you, or they'll start, say like there's somebody with a big fancy car, and someone will come along and start talking to them about cars. They might not be interested in cars, but they just start telling them all about themselves. Or do you see what I mean? So whatever you got, they'll start telling you about to try and the ego's trying to big itself up. So for some reason, we think that when you've got a certain label, you don't have that going on. And so we believe people with labels, but they do have that going on as well. So it's like, you can only offer somebody the same thing and the same beliefs that you've got as yourself. But ultimately, a belief isn't the fact. So, some people believe that science is a fact. Science isn't a fact, it's a discovering something. I've discovered that I can do that with that. I've discovered I can make a bomb. I've discovered that I can add chemicals into your food. I've discovered that we can spray pesticides. It's a discovery. And so when you look at the discovery, how many discoveries have benefited man? You've got to have a look, benefited the planet, benefited in comparison to destroyed it. So we don't have a look at those. We just have a look at where we're being told to have a look, really. So we become willfully ignorant in our, is it bliss, addictions. Do you see what I mean? Because then you just spend your life chasing, and I always do that, don't I? This is the
Yeah.
second time I've spilt that. You spend your life chasing, and so we live like dogs ultimately, because this body, it always wants something. It always feels uncomfortable somehow, or do you see what I mean? I need to go to the toilet now. Now I need to go get it a drink. Now I want something to eat. And so when you've got addictions, you're going to go out there and work as you've been told. So because you've been told not to care about your body. That's why it's been when you went to hospital or whatever. It's like, we're not here for that. We don't care about the whole thing. We're just going to treat that. We're just going to medicate it. Do you see what I mean? So it's not in the business for that. It's not in the business for that. It's in the East. That's in the business of looking after the body, looking after the mind. That's not in the West. The West isn't interested in that. The West is, the East is. So when you look at the West, they'll take things in, but just to make money from them. You see what I mean? So now we'll do mindfulness, or the autonomic nervous system, but it starts over there, and they pass it down to generations. But here it doesn't work so well, because we can end up going down doing this and a bit of that, and I'll do a bit of that, and I'll do a bit of that, and I'll do a bit of that, and it's like, are you where you need to be yet? No, because you're still chasing the star. So that's what many people do. So that's what you're doing, is you're chasing the stone in terms of your addictions, and then you're dedicated to that as well.
Yeah.
People are dedicated, so people will go out and they'll work really hard to be, have you noticed me yet? Have I earned my stripes? Am I good enough? So we spend our time on the wheel, just working really hard to what? To go buy your chemicals, to make you sick, to go back to work really hard and exhaust yourself, to go, and you just end up chasing stones. And that's what your life is. It's just chasing stones. And then you might feel good because you can have in your prison 3 weeks off in a year for you to then go on holiday. But don't relax too much, because then then you start thinking about work again just before you coming back. Or some people say, "Oh, I can't wait to get back to work, back to my routine." It's like, it's not your routine. It's what you were told that if you do this is good.
Addictions can keep you very busy. Mine do.
They're
like
all
very busy, that you can't think of anything else, or don't have time to think of anything else.
But that's how it's
And
orchestrated.
that's where I found therapy completely alien at first, because it were like, we're not here to talk, well, not we are here for this, but we're not going to talk about those things for a bit. Let's talk about you. And what? It was completely clueless. I want to talk about these. These are what keep me busy. These are what drive me. And it's like understanding that they're the stone, and it's actually what's throwing the stone, which is the issue.
Yeah, so
and I wanted to talk about
you
throwing
to get
the
your
stone.
Bag of stones out.
Let's talk about that one. I don't mind that one because that don't put me weight on, but I want to talk about these ones because they do. But it took me a long time
as well. Not only when you're chasing your stones, other people are all chasing their stones, and you're bumping into each other.
Yeah.
If only they stop chasing that stone, because that's it me. Do you see what I mean?
Or you want theirs, or they want yours, or that kind of thing, and it does get all muddled up.
That's it. So it's that. I want that stone, like you say. They owe me a stone. They owe me something. And it's that where we've learned not to do ourselves. We've learned not to love ourselves. We've learned to be in a factory working machine as a slave without our human rights. Or, like there's names like the civilized society. But when you have a look at these words, there is no meaning for that here. For a civilized society of what it says, there isn't really a meaning. So people live under this rule where they don't really want to look at themselves, and that's why they don't want to go inside, because we want to blame everybody else. So here it's the blame game. It's blaming everybody else, or saying, "Oh, I'm a good person," and it's like, but you're a person that's doing these things, or you're a person that's saying these things. Do you see what I mean? Or I'm better than they are because of my skin color, or I'm better than they are, and it's like, well, who said you are? Your ego said you are because somebody else told you you are. But how did they tell you are? Because they told you they were civilized, and what did they do? How can? Do you see what I mean? So somebody told you that you're better than them, but you're the one that went and enslaved them and raped them and killed them and decapitated them and did all those nasty things to them. And yet you if you look at the word civilized, it doesn't apply. And so we don't want to look. We just want to look at everybody else and not look at ourselves, because that's ultimately how it's being orchestrated.
And we do. It's just reminded me of something that I saw online earlier, and it said, like, don't measure yourself by somebody else's ruler, which is what we are a lot. And I would have, like, not that long ago, I would have gone, oh yeah, I get that. But then I thought, now things have changed. I thought, why are we having rulers at all? We don't.
Exactly.
Being is just enough. And whereas not that long ago, I'd have been too absorbed in everything, I wouldn't have even understood what that meant. But then I moved to, oh yeah, don't compare yourself to others, and and this and then today I just looked and thought, well, you don't even need a ruler. Why have we got rulers? Why are we having to measure as being or as worthiness or whatever?
Because then somebody can tell you lies about your worthiness compared to another's worthiness, rather than saying, as says, Jesus was here to teach us. He didn't come to teach about anybody speaking to you out of a book. He didn't have a church. He didn't have anything like that. He was teaching you because, as it said, that he went to Tibet at some point, teaching you what they teach is, to be the lion, to stop chasing the stones and devour the one that's throwing the stone, which is the voice in your head, is to be able to sit with it, to sit with yourself. That's why they do meditation, is to sit with the voice in your head, to be able to calm the voice down, in terms of you're not feeding it so much energy because you're sat with you.
Is that what my addictions are doing, is avoiding me sitting with myself? Because if I woke up tomorrow and didn't have any of my addictions or do any of my addictions or be them, my life would be completely different and I wouldn't have a clue how. I don't know it because I've not experienced when I haven't had these routines and addictions and certain. Is that what I'm avoiding?
You're avoiding you. You're avoiding it. When you sit quiet, what you're going to avoid is, say, like, if somebody, there was a German doctor and people went to him, they suffered asthma, they had asthma, and as they'd had an asthma attack, his suggestion was hold your breath. And so that's in a way what you're being asked to do, is hold your breath when you have an asthma attack. The last thing you want to do in a panic is hold your breath, for it's the only thing that's going to open your airwaves. So it's that where, instead of veering away from the danger or the panic that you're feeling, it's about challenging it and saying to you, bring it on, bring the panic on then. When you do that, it's like you've distanced yourself from the panic itself. But people end up going into the panic story. Well, they start off the panic story, so they end up going into the panic story because it might have taken you too far. So you have to practice doing it before, before it happens. And so then, the overwhelmment of it, if that's a word, becomes less and less and less in the panic.
mm,
But some things are orchestrated to panic us as well in the world. So if you think about where, say, people are answerable to the taxman, or
mm,
people are answerable to get the benefits, or people are answerable, which is quite bizarre, really, isn't it? Because they can just take our money and spend it on what they want, but we
mm,
can't. Do
mm,
you see what I mean?
mm,
So, but that's very stringent, is that? But you can go
mm,
buy bombs with it. But anyway, um, but it's that where then people were committing suicide, weren't they, quite a few years ago,
mm.
because of the stress that had been put upon them, and that fear of not being able to survive.
Yeah.
And so there's
Yeah,
all
if
those
certain
fears.
benefits have been stopped when they change criteria and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's that where, it's where you look and you say, who's going to benefit from doing this? Why start to do this in the first place? And it's that where we've learned not to care about ourselves, because nobody else really does, to be quite
Mm,
honest with you. In fact, they care less, from the looks of things. When you
mm,
actually look at it, it's like, how you experienced what we spoke about the COVID vaccine.
mm,
Um, it didn't matter, as you said, it didn't matter that you felt that pain. People were just there to do a job. So the job equals money, and we don't care. We
mm,
don't matter. Do you see what I mean? That's all it matters, is me doing this job, and everything else about the human being doesn't
mm,
matter, because everything else about my humanness doesn't matter as well. So it's that hurt people,
mm,
um, and so we don't wake up to that. We stay in that. That's how you said as well. What kind of person would you be without all that?
mm.
What would you do? What
Yeah.
and it's
And
that very
that
thing.
sends me
There is
into a
nothing.
panic mode now.
Yeah, but there
No,
is nothing to
I've
do.
got to do those.
There you go. There's your problem. But
Yeah,
there's nothing to do.
yeah.
There's nothing to. What do you need to do? Everything's been provided for us already. It's just that people with greedy egos have said it's mine, like spoilt children. That's mine.
Mm,
That's mine. So it's like that. It's like, with, for instance, we were talking about earlier, the if you take seeds away, then the next generation might not know seeds,
mm,
and so somebody can say, well, that's mine. Now I'm having that, but it was shared for all of us, for
mm,
animals,
mm,
for us, for everything. But us as humans, we take everything, we abuse it, we destroy it, we burn it, because it's mine.
mm.
And but it's not.
And we get so, in my experience, like, and the analogy, if you get so wrapped up in this stone, it's all the be all and end all of everything. I
Yes.
totally forget where it's coming from or what it represents and who's throwing it. All I'm thinking about all the time, well, I've got to do this, then I've got to do that, and then if I'm back at this time, I'll have burnt that many calories, so I'm going to eat that. Well, I can't eat that, then I'm going to right. Well, I'm going to run out of Pepsi Max on Tuesday, so if I go that, and it's
But what
like
if you
that
didn't have
all the
that?
time.
What would it be like, do you think, if you didn't have
I haven't got a clue. To be fair, I cannot remember a time when I haven't had this, what I called, even when I was little, I called it I remember saying to my mum, there's a demon in my head. I didn't know what it was. I didn't realise it was ego and all that kind of stuff. But like, I can't remember what it's
I
like
guess
without this.
sorry, I guess in a way it is a demon,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because it's so nasty.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah.
It's never been nice. It's never said anything nice, or it's never said never apologised for getting it wrong. And it's like, oh, look, you have done all those routines for the last 7 years like that, and the world hasn't fallen apart, or this one day you couldn't, you're still alive, and you haven't put on, it never apologised or said
But
it was
you're not
sorry or
going
corrected itself.
That's the thing, is
But I
that
can't remember with a time without it.
But you're not going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere, because, the debate is the world flat or round. Who cares? We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere with his voice.
Mm.
You're just doing it in your own little world to yourself. You're
Yeah.
not going anywhere in the world. You're not going to get anything in the world. Everything that we've got is only borrowed.
Mm.
We're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, I'm a success. We're all going to die.
You know, I love
All of us
that.
are going to
No,
die.
I just love what you've just said. I know it sounds silly, but you just said the world, whether it's flat or round, does it matter? And it's like all these things that are going on in my head that become the be all and end all of my existence.
Don't matter.
None of them matter.
They don't, because we're gonna. Do
None
you see
of
what I
them
mean?
matter at all.
Death, it doesn't matter. It's like death doesn't discriminate. It's coming for all of us.
Yeah.
Death is coming for all of our bodies. All of us are going. Doesn't matter. You say, "Well, I was a success." The only way I was a success. Do you see what I mean?
Or
I was a failure.
I weighed this much.
I was overweight. It doesn't matter. You know, your life is your life, and if you want to destroy your life when you're here, make it your choice to do that, but not somebody else's that's manipulated and brainwashed you into it. It's knowing that, you know, is that what I've come here for? I'm going to go down to earth to be brainwashed, manipulated, enslaved, and all the rest of it. I'm going to be, you know, all of those things. You know, you're going to be called names, done this, done that, for us all to be nasty. Is that what we came here for? Because this looks like a beautiful place to me. It's like, you know, why aren't we enjoying it? And it's that. And then when you're ill because you've eaten the things that are being provided to you, you know, in the country that you're in, then you're like, you have to prove that you're ill. You're not quite ill enough though. Do you see what I mean? But when you go, you know, how many people are just like, oh, thank God that's over? Because that's going to come to all of us, so nothing really matters anyway. So then you think, you know, like people, oh, if you got a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, you're going to do it. Why does that matter? It doesn't matter. You just need a plan today. Today I've got a plan. That's all I need, and that's it. I need to have that by this time. I need to have that by this time. Doesn't matter what time it is.
That I have to set my alarm clocks in a certain way, become all the be all. It's like,
yeah, that's what insanity is. You're just chasing a stone. You just come on the planet to chase stones, and they're not very comfortable. And then you think, once I'm comfortable, I'm happy. But you're not. You don't know what true happiness is.
Once I've got my stone, I'm not going to chase after anymore. It doesn't happen, does it?
But when you become the lion, you just can sit in your comfortableness. You sit in your happiness. But people think that relief is happiness. Oh, wow, I've just won lottery. I don't have to pay any bills anymore. Oh, I'm so happy. But then you'll find something else to be miserable because another stone's going to be thrown. And then what people say, fraud, instead of fraud. What do people say then? Then when you get something to make you happy, you're going to get nervous again. You're going to get nervous about it. So, oh, well, now I'm going to lose the money. Now everybody wants the money from me. Now I'm getting nervous again. Do you see what I mean? So you're going to then get nervous again. Because people say the more things that you've got, it's talked into you as well. The more things that you get, the more nervous you're going to get about, well, someone could take it from me now. So that's another stone. So all of these objects outside of us are just, you know, they're just things to get. And that's all we do. We come here, we collect a load of shiny things because we like shiny things. And then we die. And it's how we get the shiny thing. I've got loads of shiny things. Look at what success I am. And it's like, but have a look at what you've got. You've either got a load of notes in your bank account or paper. Do you see what I mean? They're just shaped, and then we've made stories up about them. Somebody can make a story up about this leaf or that table or whatever, or put somebody's name to it. Go, oh my God, let me get one of those. Oh, do you know what I've got? Well, let's say Rolex. I've got a Rolex. And there's a big drama, a big hoo-ha around it as well. We'll make big stories around them as well. Make them unique. We'll tell them there's only 4 of them in the world. Everybody will want it. Because your ego wants something that somebody else hasn't got, so it can be looked at. Look at me. So there are many addictions. We are seeping in them.
Yeah. And I know I have a lot, but I think I've got a hell of a lot more now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then people go, well, I haven't got addiction or anything. But it's like, I'm not addicted to that. It's like, well, see how you feel when you stop it then.
Yeah.
It's when you stop it. And even your thinking is part of an addiction.
Yeah.
So that's what you say, when I've got this voice in my head, what would it be like not to have the voice in your head? Well, can you sit still long enough to listen to it? No, you're obeying it all the time. It's constantly throwing stones. rather than like be the lion and just devour the voice.
Yeah.
Just face the voice.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
Are you okay to end that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.